Notice In a small village nestled among rolling hills, there lived a farmer named Jack. Jack had lived in the village all his life and had seen its fair share of ups and downs. But nothing had prepared him for the drought that had been ravaging the land for months. The crops had withered away, and the once green fields had turned into a barren wasteland. The villagers were struggling to survive, and many of them had lost hope. But Jack refused to give up. One day, as he was walking through the parched fields, Jack came across a tiny seedling. It was a fragile, delicate thing, barely holding onto life. But Jack saw something in it that gave him hope. He carefully dug a hole in the dry earth and planted the seedling. Every day, he watered it and tended to it, hoping that it would grow into something strong and resilient. Weeks turned into months, and the seedling began to grow. It put down roots deep into the parched earth and sprouted leaves that reached towards the sun. And as it grew, so did Jack's hope. The other villagers saw what Jack was doing and began to take notice. They saw the way that the seedling had grown into something beautiful, something that was alive and thriving in the midst of the drought. And they began to hope too. As the weeks went by, the seedling grew into a strong and vibrant plant, full of life and promise. And as it grew, so did the hope of the entire village. Eventually, the rains came, and the parched earth was once again nourished and revitalized. The villagers planted crops, and the fields that had once been barren were now filled with life and vitality. Years later, Jack was an old man, sitting on his porch and watching the village go about its daily business. He remembered the seedling that had given him hope so many years ago and smiled. He knew that the seedling had been more than just a plant. It had been a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a seed of hope that can grow into something beautiful and strong. And he was grateful for the gift of that seedling, and the hope that it had brought to him and his village.